Heather K. Margolis with Channel Maven Consulting, and thank you for joining this edition of CMC TV. Today I am joined in studio by Larry Walsh, CEO and Chief Analyst at the 2112 Group. Thanks for coming to Boulder.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it's wonderful. I just dead end on the mountains.
Exactly. Just drive until you stop.
It is like nature's cul-de-sac.
It really is. The little foothills just keep us very, that's why they call it the bubble.
Yeah.
It's also why I try never to leave.
Is that where that Saturday Night Live skit came from?
Exactly.
You should Google, go look at it.
Google.
YouTube. Yeah, Google, YouTube, whatever the kids do.
Thanks so much for coming. We were just at Channel Focus last week.
Yep.
Their 20th anniversary.
You still have sand on my toes.
Awesome. And there are a lot of questions about 3-year horizons.
Yeah.
What are you seeing?
There's a bit of a disconnect in the market, and part of it is, and I do blame people like you with marketing backgrounds and marketing people. You did something really great. Mm-hmm. You did that mythical thing called raising awareness,
right? And
you convinced the end customer that we can do magic,
right?
And you'll sometimes catch me saying this is that because of marketers, the customers believe that anything can happen in the cloud. There's unicorns and rainbows and pixie dust and all the magic happens there. The customers can now imagine things that we can't necessarily deliver, but we're getting better at it every day, and that's the great thing. And the technology is morphing in that direction. The 2112, we're tracking 6 disruptive or transformative trends. Mm-hmm. Cloud just being one of them, mobility just being one of them. We're talking about automation, artificial intelligence, or cognitive computing.
Right.
Even things like looking at the impact of drones, in which, by the way, our channel forecast, which was stunning, one of the nice little factoids that come out, 3% of partners see drones.
Really?
3% of partners see drones as a growth opportunity.
It's not just something real estate agents use to do a house tour.
No, it's going to become a big thing. The problem is that getting the partners to move in that direction, all the vendors want to go 5 years out right now. Everyone wants to go recurring revenue model. Totally. Right. And so we are getting a lot of that. We're hearing like, oh, how do we get there? What do we need to do? But at the same time, they're not willing to make choices. So they continue. I like to say is that a lot of the vendors, particularly the legacy hardware vendors, are life support systems. Mm-hmm. And their programs, which are designed and are still incented and still measured around unit sales, are keeping a lot of legacy VARs in place. So when the vendors come along and say, oh, how do we transform our channels and how do we get partners to do this? It's the part of the inertia is, or the inhibiting factor that comes from this is that they are actually the ones inhibiting the partners from actually growing.
Now, do you think as the vendors look in that direction, they need different partners, or is it their responsibility to be bringing the partners along?
Oh God, chicken, egg. Which one is it again? Wouldn't it be nice if we just cracked the shell and there'd be an omelet right there?
Right.
With ham and cheese. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I want to say yes. I want to say that there's a new breed of partners. I'm for one, I don't believe in born in the cloud. Right. But I do think that there's a new class of partners that are coming to fore. I think that the model that we're used to today is not going to be the model of tomorrow. I just find that people find it very uncomfortable because it's asking them to live in 2 worlds, and they're not prepared to do that. Right.
Well, and I think, too, some of the vendors need to take into account that no 2 partners are the same. So some of them are going to transition on their own and figure it out, and some of them are going to be looking to the vendors for that help.
Perhaps. This is one of the bigger problems that we encounter. Mm-hmm. Is that if you look at the totality of the channel, it would be nice to say that we have 4 equal slices of pie. Right. And it doesn't work out that way. Never. And so if you apply, everybody wants to say, well, the 80-20 rule is alive and well. If it was only that well. Mm-hmm. And we look at it and we say it's 5.95. And then there's probably another 10% of the partners that are actually worth looking at. And the rest of them are transactional opportunistic. We've looked at some channel programs and some of the analytic works that we've done. We've seen, there's actually a great example. Can I say? Yeah, I can say this. We had one of our...
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, we actually saw a vendor that had 25% of their revenue, channel revenue, coming from 2% of their partners. Wow. And it got worse from there. So that's what I mean though, is that, yes, we do need to cultivate and foster
Mm-hmm.
and bring along partners. We have to look at those new opportunities. We have to look at new models. For too long, we've been
Right.
stuck in, what are our choices? Sell to, sell through, sell with, right? Influence, refer, align. These are concepts that aren't really natural yet, and they're going to become increasingly, because what are we selling? We're not selling product anymore.
Right.
We're
Business
selling
outcomes.
We're selling experiences.
Right.
I wrote a book in 2011. It was called the Ultimate Cure to Insomnia. No, wait, that was something else. Seriously, don't go looking for my book. It's horrible.
It's not.
It's awful. It's called The Power of Convergence. I wrote it with a guy from General Electric. And we talked about this. We talked about outcomes and alignment, and technology just being tools in the business outcome. It's really satisfying to seeing it actually coming into reality. I don't know if everyone quite gets that yet, particularly product managers.
So if vendors are looking for help in this direction, or looking to figure out how they're going to navigate the next 3 years, what can you do to help them?
It's really understanding translating their vision and their operational necessities into transitional models. Understanding, one of the things that 2112 does is identifying partners that are able to make those transitional moves, and and I'm sorry to say, identifying the partners that won't.
Right.
I think a lot of what we're looking at is going forward is making choices, and in order to make these choices effectively, you have to have not just the vision for doing it, but the strategy for doing it, and also imprinting that strategy onto the partners.
Right.
One of the things that we tell, when we talk with partners on behalf of our clients, we tell the partners emphatically, communicate to your vendors. Don't think of marketing communication strategy work as purely looking down at your customers.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell your vendors what you're doing. You have to explain to them what your capabilities are. We have a methodology called our 3 C's: capabilities, competency, capacities.
Mm-hmm.
Capabilities. Everyone's capable of doing something.
Right.
I mean, you and I are recording a video. I mean, and we're by ourselves, except for the live studio.
I know the videographer wasn't able to come, so
But it wouldn't call this your competency.
Right.
Right, and that's a practice. And then it comes into capacity. What are you able to do with that? And too many of the partners don't communicate that to the vendors. Conversely, the vendors ask an awful lot of the partners without a whole lot of understanding what's happening in their world. If you look at the difficulty of being a partner today, and the expectations of the vendors, they're completely misaligned.
Well, and especially this was part of my session at Channel Focus around what partners expect from their channel account managers. The first is understand my business. Understand that I am a small or mid-sized business, and there are a million other things going on that aren't filling out this business plan with you.
Well, it's not just that, but I mean, if you think about, how many times have you heard, somebody get up on stage, some channel chief, we won't name one, there's plenty, that says, something along the lines of, their goals, improve ease of doing business.
Right.
That is one of the biggest unicorns in the channel, and it's not because it's not well intended. I think it's, anybody gets up there and says, I want to make doing business with us easier is being quite altruistic. The problem is that their ability to simplify their program does nothing to the 7 to 12 other channel programs that small business has to interact with. And if you think about it, every vendor has a different portal. Every vendor has a different contract. Every vendor uses different distributors and lines of credits and all this. It is a logistical nightmare for the partner.
Yeah. I mean, I helped run one before starting Channel Maven, and it's what you and I do all the time. Yeah. So it's a lot to look at and to figure out, okay, this might benefit partner A, but partners B through Z are not going to like this one factor.
Well, that's one of the things we also do with our clients. When we develop the strategy and we advise on what it means. So we will do a lot of analyzing and probability. So we do tabletops and scenario plannings and things like that. And we'll say to the vendor, and this is typically where our work gets handed off to Channel Maven, is you have to not just communicate to the partners you
Right.
want to interact with. You have to communicate to the ones you don't want to interact with as well. You have to tell the ones that, the channel is not No Child is Left Behind.
Right.
We're going to leave a few behind.
Right.
And-
Intentionally.
and
Because it's better for the business.
And we have to tell them why. We
Right.
have to explain to them, you're not, you don't get to come on the roller coaster because you did not put on your platform shoes. You did not eat your Wheaties and grow.
Or you don't get to come on the roller coaster because it's not good for your business. And these are things that
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that too, but I think that's the other
I
trap.
always try to be the nice one.
Well, okay.
Good cop, bad cop.
It's fine. My reputation as being the channel cynic or the critic or the curmudgeon is intact. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, but we have to realize there's a reason why not every partner is created equally,
Right.
as you said, and more importantly is that unless you understand what you want, this is the other thing that we see a lot. Vendors don't do a very good job of telling their partners what they want them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And every process requires roles, responsibility, accountability. You're going to scurry off to some national partner and you're going to say, well, I made my number. Well, your cost of sales triple.
Yeah.
And your frustration rises and you keep looking for the value add and there's no value add.
Right.
Yeah.
So lots to talk about. We hope you'll come back, or we'll do a.
I don't know if I can leave. That's just.
I know, right?
Yeah.
You're in the bubble.
I am.
That's it.
Yeah.
Where can people see you next? Where are you speaking next?
Oh, that's interesting. I will probably be back here in Denver for a certain backup vendors conference in a couple of weeks. I know that I'm keynoting at the TBI partner conference in Chicago at the middle of June.
Great.
And you'll probably find me floating around doing some stuff at the what's Microsoft calling WPC now? Ignite.
Yes.
Yeah. So
great.
yeah.
All right, everybody, tune in. And if you're tweeting, please use the hashtag CMCTV. And Larry is at LMWalsh2112 on
That's
Twitter.
right.
And I am Heather K. Margolis, and Channel Maven, of course. Thanks all so much for joining.